Hi everyone, my name is Ehsan, and in this video I do like to talk about this little gadget that I have been using for many years, and it has helped me to increase my focus and productivity. This little gadget can measure the CO2 level, temperature, atmospheric pressure, and the humidity. But to me, I just care about the CO2 level. I'm not the Robert Boyle. And here I do like to talk about why I bought this device. Just a disclaimer, I bought this device with my own money. This is not sponsored, so I can't talk about anything that I want about this device. So in 2020, when I started to work from home, I quickly realized that I cannot focus on the tasks that I could easily focus previously. And that just was something in my mind. I thought, what's wrong with me? Why I can't focus on these tasks that I could do it easily before? And the only change was the environment. I'm working from home now, and the windows are closed, the door is closed. I have a little boy, so I have to make sure I'm not getting interrupted with the other voices, the neighbors are mowing and all of that. So I thought maybe the CO2 level in my room goes up, and that causes me to not be able to focus. Knowing me, I do like to know the scientific reasons behind the things. So I started to dig into the papers, and I came across this beautiful paper that is answering the exact question that I'm looking for. They want to know if the CO2 and the VOC, which is the volatile organic compound, can affect us as the workers to focus. So I read this paper, and now I just want to share a few details about this paper, and then I will talk about this device, the things that I like about this and the thing that I don't. And at the end, I'm gonna tell you whether it's worth to buy this or not. So let's dig a little bit into this research paper. I think this is interesting. But before that, I do like to talk a little bit about the VOC. The VOC is volatile organic compounds. It's all these compounds that they are hanging around. They can evaporate at room temperature. They might come from the detergents that you have used or the clones, basically everything that have some sort of chemicals. Here is the list of all, and they can evaporate at room temperature. And if you keep every door or windows closed, then they can build up over time. But in this experiment, what they have done is controlling these two items, the CO2 and VOC. They designed 5 different conditions. They called them green plus, green, conventional, moderate CO2, and high CO2. The convention is what usually we have is 900 ppm of the CO2 in the air and about 600 of the ppm of the VOC. And for the moderate CO2, they kept the same amount of the CO2 but reduced the amount of the VOC, so this is around like 30. And then for the high CO2, they bumped it up around 1400 but kept the VOC the same level. Basically, the CO2, they kept it the same in any condition, but for the convention, they increased it drastically to 600. Now, for the green, the CO2 level was around 750, and the green plus is around 480. So these are the 5 different conditions, and for the experiment, they chose 24 different people, different sex, age, ethnicity, different level of education, and the type of jobs that they are doing. And for the next step, they did the experiment in 4 different days, and they did it in a control level. So the first day, they controlled the level of CO2 and VOC to have a green plus. And then the next day, the same people had a moderate CO2, and then high CO2, green, conventional, and then green plus again. And then at the end of the day, they took a test from these people in different types of scenarios. And I will explain that in a little bit. So now let's go to the table. Day 1 to day 6. And as you can see here, the level of the CO2 and VOC are different, as I explained, and everything else is almost the same and unchanged. Or if there is any change, that has not have any impact on the result. And the test that they have to take was evaluating different types of tasks. Some of them required high level of focus, and some of them the low level, some medium. And these are the 9 categories that they were evaluating these people. And the results are interesting. Some of the tasks you don't see any meaningful changes, like this one, information seeking. But for the crisis response or information usage or a strategy, you can see it's a drastic change. This is almost 2 times better score, or this is like almost 4 times, or this one is almost 4 times. So the level of CO2 in our room has a direct effect on how do we think and respond to the high level tasks. So just go for a walk, open the windows more often, or you can have a device. That's why I decided to buy this device, because I wanted to know what's the level. At some point after a while, you are gonna realize that when do you need to go to take a break, go for, have a fresh air. But I just wanted to have some peace in mind. This can beep if the level reaches the point that I have to go for a walk, and just gives me, something, a peace in mind that I don't have to think about the level of CO2. This is gonna remind me. That's why I bought this. And now the things that I do like about this device, the first one is the accuracy. This is a very accurate device. It's about maybe 10 to 20 ppm difference between what this device records for the CO2 compared to a lab grade device. Many people have done different tests. And the other one is the battery. It does use 2 AA batteries, and this is gonna last for 2 years. The other one is, this is highly portable. You can just put it in your pocket and go to your office and measure the CO2 over there. I have seen people use that in their car to see and measure the level of CO2. And I personally use it in my home office, the days that I work from home and the days that I work from the office. And the other thing that I do like is the e-ink display, which is visible from every angle. And the application for this device is also free and very easy to use. So if I just click on it, and you can see I have put it on the last 1 month, and you can see the data. You can export it in XML and CSV for today, or all the way to all the days that you have used it, and you can here see the data. So here I have been using that in my home office, and then this is from the office at work. So you see it has a very well CO2 level compared to my home office. And if I just click through the different tabs, this is the temperature, and this is the humidity, and this is the pressure. But for me, I just care about the CO2 level, and I think this is very nice that I can measure it instantly, and I can also change the interval to get refresh every 1 minute. And now to the cons of this device. I think the only cons that I can say about this device is the price. At the time that I purchased this one, it was around like $140, but right now it's $180, and I think this is expensive. But if you want to have a device that measures the CO2 level very accurate, I have heard a lot of good things about their customer service. This is gonna be a device that I think is worth buying. So if you, like me, had issues with focus and you felt sluggish, you can't focus on the high level tasks, maybe it's time to invest on a device that can measure the level of CO2. And I'm gonna put the link, an affiliated link, in the description below, and you can pick up one of these and see if the level of the CO2 changes during the day that you are working. Yeah, I think this is now the time that I have to go for a walk. It's 1251, and yeah, that was this video. See you in the next one.